Hey, good morning, Daily Dosers. So excited you're joining us for another Daily Dose. My name's Braden. I get the privilege and the opportunity to serve as one of the pastors at the Ramona campus. And if you have your Bibles, I want you to go and turn to Exodus chapter 3, starting in verse 1, where we're exploring the story of Moses this week. So if you have your Bibles, we're going to be, like I said, verse 1 all the way down to verse 6. It says this: "Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I'll go over and I'll see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from the bush, 'Moses, Moses.' And Moses said, 'Here I am.' 'Do not come any closer,' God said. 'Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground.'" Remember that part, guys. "Then he said, 'I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob.' At this moment, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God." The part in there that I want you and I to remember as we walk into this day is the part where God goes, "Hey, I want you to take off your sandals." He goes, "I want you to take off your shoes because he is standing on holy ground." And I believe what God is telling Moses in this moment is that, hey, I'm God, you're not. He wants you to take off his shoes so you can understand, so he can feel the sovereignty in between his toes, so that he can understand who's in control of this moment and who's not. Take off your shoes so you can feel my presence, Moses. And it just made me think that I think a lot of the times you and I, we tend to treat God, we tend to treat church like the zoo. Think about it. We show up to the zoo, and we have to understand the zoo is catered for you. You show up, you find a parking spot, there's a parking team there, they try to help you get in, you tithe, you pay like $16 for popcorn, they got music that they're singing. And then you go over to the predators, and I love it. In one of the exhibits, I don't remember which one it is, but there's this sign that just says, "Predator Viewing Area." Like, we're just gonna sit there and we're just gonna look at a lion and just go, look at this. This is crazy. This is a lion right there. And it just says, you can just stay in this place right here and you can just watch it. It's interesting how arrogant we can get when we stand watching something like a lion through a fence. I've never had the privilege to go on a safari, but my dad has got the privilege to go on a safari about 6 times doing some mission work. And there's this one time my dad is out there and he tells me this story where he's in this Jeep and this Jeep doesn't have a top on it. And he takes all these students with him and he goes, "All right, guys, everybody put your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care." And the tour guide, the South African tour guide, looks at him and just goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" And my dad's just like, Mufasa. Like, he just gets super scared and he's like, I was just trying to have some fun. And he goes, "Hey, don't do that." Because apparently the week before, there had been an incident where a lady had stuck her hand out of the Jeep and a lion came and ripped her arm off. True story. And you bet my dad, throughout the rest of that safari, had his hands, arms, feet, toes, everything inside the vehicle at all times. It's just interesting. When you look at a lion in the zoo, you can arrogantly assume you're in his territory. But when you see a lion on a safari, you're acutely and almost cognitively aware whose territory you're in. I think a lot of the times we treat the holiest thing in our life so casual. And in this moment, God goes, "Hey, what I need you to understand in this moment, especially where your feet stand, those same feet are going to stand in front of Pharaoh in not too far of time. And what I need you to understand in this moment is that, yes, is Pharaoh big? Absolutely. But God is so much bigger. And I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what your circumstance is, but may I just remind you, hey, your problems, I'm not here to minimize. I just want to maximize how big your God is. So as you walk into this day, would you walk remembering that the same feet you have, the same feet where Moses stood in front of God in a burning bush that did not burn. It's that same God you and I get to talk to. What a story. What a God. I hope you're encouraged by this today, and thank you again for checking in with the Daily Dose.